Yes, people, I'm Srini, and you are watching MTAC TV. You can look at the smile on my face. Of course, my boys are playing tonight. Ritvik as well, smiling as usual because, of course, City play PSG in the Champions League tonight. We are super hyped. And let's just get to it straight away. Arnav, PSG are the home team, so why don't you kick us off with the lineup?
Yeah. Navas in goal, Florenzi and Barker right back, left back. Then there is Kimpembe and just missed the other guy.
It's all right, man. This is going
It's
very
a
smooth, guys.
strange
Too
lineup.
perfect.
Yeah, I don't know who's playing centre back today.
Yeah, Kimpembe and Marquinhos are playing centre back
Oh,
with
Brilliant.
a midfield trio of Gay, Verratti, and Paredes. Neymar and Di Maria on the wings, and Mbappe is fit enough to start up top.
Fair enough. And Adi, what's the City lineup? We have to react to this right now. I'm super nervous. So what is it?
correct. Okay, so in goal, Edison. We have your back four is Walker, Diaz, Stones, and Cancelo. Very strong. Midfield, you have Rodrigo, Gundogan, and Bernardo. With Mahrez, Foden, and De Bruyne. De Bruyne probably is a false nine. What are your reactions? I hate that we have two City fans all the time. Ritvik, I'm going to go straight to you. What are your thoughts?
For perfect lineup, perfect match. Let's go. Let's get it, man. I'm very pumped. I'm super pumped. He's not overthinking. He's put in the same lineup that was there against Dortmund, barring the left back. But that's okay. Cancelo's going to do the job. I think Cancelo Walker is a great choice. Centre backs, no nonsense. Fernandinho's not there. That's okay. Rodri will do the job. And the front three of De Bruyne, Mahrez, and Foden is obviously fabulous and are three most important players this season. So yeah, man, I'm hyped and let's go. Let's get this win. Shri, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I resonate with Daksh's comment. Daksh, shout out to you for getting and jumping into the comments. 3 comments already, man. That's absolutely brilliant stuff from you. But yeah, this lineup is absolutely perfect. As Daksh said, once again, no Pep overthinking this time. This is the lineup that City fans dreamt of, and this is the lineup that Pep has given us, and he's done this before as well. As Ritvik said, the likes of Walker and Cancelo starting. That's very good because, of course, we can deal with PSG's pace as well. You have Sterling, who played really well in the last game, but again, he hasn't chosen to start him. He's went for his tried and tested combination, of course, Foden and Mahrez on the wing. So yeah, man, no surprises here, and that's probably the best thing that Pep could give us because, man, after that whole Leon fiasco, I can't go through any of that. So yeah, that's my personal take. But I'll go to Adi for this one. What do you make of the PSG lineup, man?
I mean, strong lineup on paper. Defensively, when you look at them, they might not look the best, but it's got them through to the semi-finals. So clearly, something's working. Di Maria is I think he's going to do an absolute. He's going to perform a clinic today. Mbappe is back fit. He was a doubt, so that would have scared a lot of PSG fans. But I think the big one for me is Marco Verratti. He's missed quite a significant portion of the season. And to see him in a starting lineup for PSG is huge. I think he's going to dictate the game, and especially since they're the home side, I think he's probably one of the men to look out for. But big help for him. Arnav, your thoughts on PSG?
Yeah, I agree with you. Verratti being back is a big boost for them because now I feel like the PSG midfield can kind of go to with cities now that they have Verratti back, and good to see Mbappe back, man. I was kind of worried because without Mbappe, I think City would have had a significant advantage. So I'm glad he's starting. I have a question about the City lineup, and I know you guys are really happy that Pep's kept it simple. But on the back of the last few games, we had Stones getting sent off against Villa, and then you had Laporte put in a man of the match performance against Spurs, where he scored the elusive goal also. So, do you think there was a case to be made for Laporte to start ahead of Stones today? Whichever City fan wants to take that.
All right, okay, go for it. Why not? Go for it. I'm being nice. Go for it.
So, I mean, I actually don't think it was ideal for Laporte to start just because of his tendency to, make more mistakes than Stones comparatively in the past 2 years. Stones has been almost flawless this season. Even that tackle wasn't something that, wasn't a mistake. It just happens. We see it in the modern game that those tackles are given as a red card. And barring that, he's made close to 0 mistakes this season. Whereas Laporte this season itself has made so many mistakes because of which Stones got into the team. And even if there was a man of the match performance from Laporte, I think he does get the nose in these big games. Yes, he's a very good. He scores a lot of goals. He scores decisive goals, but it all comes down to who makes the fewest mistakes today, and I think Stones is there, the key for that.
Yeah, and
Yes,
I just wanted to add to that point. Laporte had a great game, and there's no doubt in the fact that Laporte is absolutely world class. But even in the last game, you must have noticed that Lucas Moura did go past him once or twice, and he had to make that tackle to make sure that he makes that tactical foul, and Moura doesn't do what he does with his pace. And today you are facing Kylian Mbappe, who is that into a million. And I think one of City's defenders always comes into midfield, especially when we're in possession. And Laporte has a tendency of making such tackles. As Ritvik said, Stones is probably our least error-prone defender this season, even more than Diaz, I would say. And the tackle that he made against Villa, again, that was not reckless. He was going for the ball. He was a little late. So you have to go for the tried and tested combination, and that's Stones and Diaz. And while Laporte would kind of help in build up because he's a lefty, I think you can't go wrong with Stones. Adi, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I just have a quick last City question for you guys before we talk a bit more about PSG. You City fans and as well, guys in the comments are reacting as to how Pep has gone for a tried and tested method. So, that's something he obviously hasn't done in previous Champions League seasons. That's why you've been knocked out. Would you have probably started Sterling based on, his last game? He's been slightly picking up form. Or do you think this is the lineup to go to? Srini, you want to go first?
Yeah, as I said, first of all, Sterling, kind of similar to Sadio Mane, has had a very, very down season. I mean, he's had certain games where he looks like the Raheem Sterling of the past. And against Spurs, in that first 15, 20 minutes, he was electric. But once again, his decision-making did let him down. I think he was being very, very selfish because he wanted to prove a point. And most of all, I don't think he did enough in that game to justify a start. That was a 7 on 10 performance. If he'd scored a goal or scored a brace, he'd give Pep a decision. But that was not the case. Phil Foden still had a great game. Riyad Mahrez was the man of the match. So Raheem Sterling, the good part about Raheem Sterling is that his off-the-ball movement is off the scale. But then at the same time, Riyad Mahrez has been unplayable. Phil Foden is City's best finisher. So, and wow, we're talking about the Champions League. And Arnav makes sense. But anyway, there's no way Raheem Sterling can start in this team. Raheem Sterling is fantastic, but at the minute, no way, Jose. Ritvik?
Yeah, plus I just wanted to add that when Sterling starts, Foden has to play up top as a false nine, and then De Bruyne has to move into the midfield. But I seriously think Foden does a better job than Sterling on the left wing. So it's between Sterling and Foden to start because Bernardo and De Bruyne cannot be benched. De Bruyne has to play the false nine, Bernardo has to be in the mid. So yeah, I think Foden over Sterling any day.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, Arnav, I have a question for you, right? We've talked a lot about City, and frankly speaking, guys, this is a lot of fun. This feels like my comfort zone. I feel at home. This is so much fun. We can do the stream for 2 hours. Now, but for real, Arnav, my question to you is, Marco Verratti's back. And Adi knows that I'm a massive Marco Verratti fan because he doesn't always get the opportunity of playing in these big games because of his injury record or because he just had COVID, etc., etc., etc. So what sort of an impact do you see him having? Because we can talk about the likes of Neymar and Mbappe, but Verratti is going to be key today. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think I touched upon that earlier when I mentioned that City would have had a significant advantage over PSG had Verratti or Mbappe, either of them missed out. So today I feel like there's more balance to the PSG midfield with perhaps Verratti and Idrissa Gana Gueye being more industrious in midfield, and maybe Neymar can combine with Di Maria and Paredes to take care of the creative department.
Fair point. Adi, similar question to you. I just made it up. What sort of approach should Poch take into this game? Because he's playing against Pep Guardiola. According to Gary Neville, the best manager the Premier League has ever seen. Had to get that in there. So what do you think he should do?
Well, first of all, Gary Neville, who's been coach under Sir Alex Ferguson, to say that's a huge statement. He's probably going to get slapped by a couple of people in Manchester. But anyway, your question. Where is it going to be won? I think Pochettino, he's at home. Obviously, there was a huge win for him when he was Spurs manager over City. So I think that's definitely going to give him air of confidence that he's done it against Pep. I think they're the home side. They need to dominate the ball. I said this about Madrid yesterday. They didn't do that. They got off the park by Chelsea. And I feel like Man City are a side that they obviously like to have the ball and they can do the most damage when they have it. They might not like they don't waste the ball, essentially is what I'm saying. Like if they have it, they're going to do something useful with it. They're not just passing it on the back for all that. PSG on the other hand, they might be able to play on the counter because they have lightning players and Neymar and Mbappe. There's no secret about that. So I'm not sure whether it's a game of dominating possession for PSG or it's counter-attacking. So I haven't really answered your question, but it's one of those. And you know, Arnav, do you have any thoughts? Ritvik, you.
I'll now go for it.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, about who's gonna try to have more possession of the ball, and I just feel the way PSG played against Bayern, it kind of gives me the feeling that they're gonna be happy to let City have more of the ball, stick to playing on the counter, and I mean, even if they don't try to do that, City, I believe, are anyway gonna try to have complete control of the game. And PSG's home form is somewhat of a worry. So I don't think they are going to look like the home side today. So I expect more possession from City. Ritvik, what do you
Yeah, but
say?
do you guys actually think that it's a good approach for Poch to do this? Because Poch has faced Pep 18 times. Of course, he has the strongest lineup this time. He hasn't had a strong lineup as strong as this. But he's lost 10 times. He's drawn 5 times. He's only won thrice. And one of them was four games away or something. He's conceded so many times. He plays defensive football at home. He played it against Bayern. And Bayern with the Lewandowski would have scored if they would have finished their chances. So, and City are actually finishing their chances this season. So I don't think that's the best approach to go for Poch. I think he has to. It's at home. He has to show his dominance at home. Away leg, yes, maybe you can play a bit conservative football because you don't want to concede as much. But at home, there's no chance you should play like this. Shri?
Yeah, so I'll take your comment and I'll ask Adi a question, right? I personally totally disagree with everything you said. I think they need to concede possession because there's no way they're going to be able to keep the ball more than City. And also, playing counter-attacking football is their MO, in my opinion. So, Adi, what do you think about that? Just lastly, because while they are at home, don't you think the strength is the fact that Mbappe and Neymar are absolutely rapid on the counter? So what's your thoughts on that? What sort of an approach would you like to see?
Good question. I think you're right. Counter-attacking is their strength, and as you say, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. So obviously, they're not. You shouldn't just set up shop and try and dominate possession or let them play into your hand. Play on the counter. You have your strengths. You have the likes of Di Maria, Mbappe, and Neymar. They're the ones who are going to win the game for you. There's no one else I really see as a standout performer, except for maybe Verratti. So yeah, simple thing is play your strength, play on the counter, and get the job done. Arnav, you want to add something?
Yeah, I actually have a question for Srini here. We've talked about how we want Poch to approach it. What do you make of Pep's approach to this game? What kind of a plan do you have in mind?
I mean, whatever plan I have, it's not going to work because I'm not Pep Guardiola. But what I can say is that one thing that Pep Guardiola has done that's actually going to work in this game. Actually, there's a couple of things that actually make us the perfect opposition for PSG. So one of those things is that we don't press as high as we used to. Now, I know teams do that a lot, and that leaves a lot of space behind. Bayern did that, and I think it was quite naive of them. Leon Goretzka, there was so much space behind him, and PSG kept finding Di Maria, Neymar in those half spaces, and they absolutely dominated them. That forced the centre halves like Sula to come forward, and there was space in behind for Mbappe to run. This is something we cannot do. City don't press like that. City are actually quite passive when it comes to pressing. They only press against certain oppositions, but they wait for you to make a mistake and kind of beat you on the counter in a sense, but they exploit space. That's kind of what they do. So that's one thing that I want to see. Apart from that, what I really like from City this season is that City tend to play a 3 at the back, especially when Kyle Walker plays. So you have Diaz and Stones, but Walker plays in that position. And City's problem last season was that we used to get countered on because we used to have Rodri playing that lone defensive role. Now, because Cancelo is there as well, those two play that system. So Cancelo can shift to left back when possible, but he can also help out Rodri, and that sort of makes sure that the workload is divided. So I think it's because of these two reasons. If Pep does do this, we won't be as exposed defensively because it is inevitable that Neymar and Mbappe are going to wreak havoc. Ritvik, you want to add something there?
Also, just adding to that, if you look at the Leeds game where we conceded just on pure counter attack, we didn't have Kyle Walker. Cancelo is playing right back, and Cancelo joins the mid, which is why there is so much space behind, which is what Leeds countered. But today, there's Kyle Walker. He joined the defense, and the 3-man defense, I think, will be more than enough for stopping the counter, and that adds a lot of firepower to us. Moreover, I think City's pressing will be key because PSG aren't the best, at playing out from the back, and City are the best at pressing. So the likes of Foden, Mahrez, Gundogan, De Bruyne, everyone presses with such intensity that I think the game is going to be won there. Ali?
Can I just quickly come in with a little stat I have over here? Neymar has been involved in a goal every 85 minutes in Champions League and Mbappe every 78 minutes. So whoever wants to take this idea, Arnav, I probably want to come to you first. If you were Pochettino and you're talking to Neymar and Mbappe, which side of that City defense do you target? And where do you think you make the most impact?
Arnav, before you answer that, I have a similar stat. Out of the 47 total attempts that PSG have made in the UCL, 30 belong to just Neymar and Mbappe. It's adding to Adi's stats. That's why I'm making it. 15 each for both of them. 30 out of 47. So,
Srini, want to add
I don't want to add anything. I'm just saying, guys, you're preparing for this like it's a board exam. You have all these stats written down. Stop it, man. Be natural.
Cutting edge.
Arnav. Sorry?
Arnav.
Go on. Sorry.
I think Poch must be hoping that more of those chances fall to Mbappe and not to Neymar. Don't get me wrong, he had a phenomenal performance against Bayern in the second leg, but he was quite wasteful. And on another day, Bayern would have scored another goal, gone through, and despite the kind of performance that Neymar had, you would have had to put some amount of blame on him. I think he has to start finishing. About which side of the City defense to target, I think I would target Walker and Stones, the right side of their defense, and but I also feel that Di Maria should try and take on Cancelo 1v1 as often as possible. Firstly, he's in an unnatural position. I'm a right-footed player. I've played left back. I know just how hard it is. People don't appreciate it enough. You have your whole body in a different. The whole dynamics change, and it's really difficult for you to, get back once you're beaten on the outside as a right-footed player playing left back. Even though he has been comfortable there, I'd like to see Di Maria have a go at him, and Mbappe should be looking to isolate Stones rather than Diaz.
All right. Okay, guys, we're going to take a couple of comments over here really quickly. Thank you all for the comments, by the way, flooding in. By the way, make sure you hit the subscribe button while you're listening to us, okay? Okay, so Manav Kohli, Mani, what's up? He says, come on, PSG. He follows that up by saying, Daksh, we aren't going to see Aguero, unfortunately. I mean, it is unfortunate. Hopefully, he wins Champions League, but hopefully he doesn't. We have Ronaldo123 Rocks, who's back in the house. Thank you, brother, for joining us. He says, Neymar is playing today. Not his sister's birthday around right now. Very good point.
Do not read that. Will get cancelled. Don't read that.
Manav with a very interesting comment. Let me know if you City boys want to take this. He says the Laporte situation is so weird that clearly doesn't fancy him in big games, nor does Deschamps. I think he's fantastic though. Such a weird situation. And if I can just come in, I think after his ACL, he hasn't been the same player. But what do you guys think as Stones up above him?
Ritvik, go for it.
I previously spoke about this. I think yes, he's a fantastic defender. But again, it comes down to big games. It's similar to Sterling, actually, because Sterling seems to not perform in big games. And he, as good as a player he is, he just seems to, that confidence, maybe he doesn't have the confidence. Maybe he gets those nerves. And I think it's similar with Laporte. I think Laporte gets a little too overexcited that he wants to perform so well. I know he has the passion that he ends up making a few mistakes. He ends up overthinking maybe. You never know with what all happens. You never know if he wants to make that impact because he's on the bench, or because when you have a guaranteed position in the team, then it's a different ballgame altogether. But to prove yourself after coming on, you have to take those risks. And of course, he makes some mistakes.
Srini?
See, I think with the Laporte situation, the France situation is something else. So there's no reason to address that because, again, there's no reason for him not to be in the fold or not to have been in the fold before. But just considering this season, firstly, one aspect that's never spoken about is the fact that he still has recurring injuries. I mean, Laporte has been injured a good 3-4 times this season already, and people don't talk about that. So that's one aspect. Apart from that, I don't think he's one of those players that gets very overexcited and gets, he doesn't do an Otamendi, basically. I in fact feel that, in fact, one of his old coaches said this, that Laporte has always been so good that he tends to be super confident and gets a little casual, and I've seen that, which is why in certain games Laporte is a little lightweight for me. That's the only thing. And I think when you watch John Stones this season, he plays like he has a lot on the line. And Pep constantly mentions this. John Stones has almost overcome this personal battle within himself and in his personal life as well. And you take all of that and you combine that with the fact that he wants to stay and compete. I think Pep really likes that aspect of the pitch, which is why Stones is doing so well. So I think Pep is really connected with Stones. And at the same time, Laporte has come out saying something like, I may play at City, I wanted to stay here, but then you never know about the future. So it's that mindset which I think Pep really doesn't like. Arnav, you want to add to that?
No, I don't want to add to that. I have a question for you, City boys. Ritvik, maybe you can take this. Are you slightly concerned about City's form in recent weeks? They lost in the FA Cup to Chelsea, lost to Leeds. They were down against Villa, came back to win it, and even against Spurs. I know they completely dominated, but they did huff and puff to get their goal. Took them more than 80 minutes to get the goal. So, do you think they're kind of declining compared to their earlier performances? Are you slightly concerned?
I'm not concerned about that as much, because if you look at all these games, he hasn't played his preferred lineup. Today he's playing his preferred lineup, and we're at the strongest when we play our preferred lineup. But in those games, of course, there were a little bit of tweaks over there. Sterling played all those games. He wanted Sterling to get back. Laporte was playing. Cancelo was playing right back. There were so many changes. Zinchenko. The Leeds game had 9 changes, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that obviously alters the way you play, and you try to experiment more things. So I'm not really concerned about that, because the team today is tried and tested. The team knows how to play together. They know how to win games together. And more importantly, today is more about character than tactics and all of that. And we have the confidence this time. We're back off of a League Cup win, which is going to be super important today, because if you would have lost, then you saw what happened last year. We lost the FA Cup and we lost the Lyon game. So you don't want that to happen. So yeah, that's all.
Can I just take a couple of more comments? Very, very interesting comment, by the way. Well, first, Daksh says Sterling is missing finishing at the moment. He was good in getting into the box, but lacked finding the back of the net. I agree completely, and I don't think he's getting ahead of Lionel Foden. Dilshay Dhupia with a really, really good comment. Let me know who wants to take this. He says, Di Maria gets unplayable in important games. Are you guys scared for his 1v1 versus Cancelo? And does Cancelo's pace make you nervous against PSG's counter-attack? Who wants to take this?
I'll take this. Why not? So I think, first of all, even though Cancelo is playing in an unnatural position, I think what Cancelo offers that Zinchenko doesn't, even defensively, is the fact that he's very aggressive. If you saw that Spurs game, he was so good in the second half in those one-on-one situations, whether that be against Kane, whether that be against Moura. I think he was brilliant. And I think Di Maria's best aspect is the fact that he's a very good dribbler. Like, if we had to be worried about pace, I think we'd be worried about someone like Mbappe. But what Di Maria does is that he drops very deep, especially in those right half spaces, and sets the counter-attack. I think that's Di Maria's role. So I don't think it'll be a one-on-one sort of a situation. And another very good thing about PSG's front three is that they're very fluid. So Neymar may be supposed to starting as a left winger, but he plays as a 10. Mbappe may be a striker, but then he also veers off out wide. So what the biggest challenge will be in sort of dealing with those runs rather than those one-on-one situations. So that's why when it comes to pace, I'm not concerned at all. But guys, I think we should take another comment that I think is very good, and that's by Samrid, of course. He says, question for all, surprise player to watch out for in both teams. Now, guys, I know we've covered a lot of City. It's because Ritvik and I are here. We're here to spread the propaganda, but we also have to talk about PSG. So, Adi, I'll go to you. Who's a surprise player that you should watch out for in this game? For PSG, of course.
Well, I mean, not a lot of people know this, but I'm a huge Idrissa Gana Gueye fan. And, when Everton sold him, it was quite baffling. But he stepped up, went to PSG, and he's really done bits, especially when Verratti's been missing. He's really, shown himself. And this might be a bit of a stretch, but I feel like he's almost an N'Golo Kante on his own. He covers that 90% of the pitch. The way Kante got man of the match tonight.
Yeah.
PSG, if they have a nice 2-0 win, I think it's going to be down to probably Gay. Ritvik, who's your key player?
Yeah, I think I was gonna go for Gay as well because I'm a DM myself. I love when DMs do well,
I'm a-
and
oh my God.
I seriously think he's
This
top 5 DMs
this
in the world.
team. I'm just saying, guys, we're not here to promote our failed careers. This guy says he's a DM. This guy says he's played at left back before. Stop, all right. But anyway, Arnav, who's your surprise key player for PSG?
Surprise key player, I'm gonna go for Marquinhos. I think you could see the dip in PSG's defensive prowess when he went off against Bayern. Bayern got a goal. I'm talking about the first leg here. Bayern got a goal, and they looked really shaky without him. So I think he's got a big job to do dealing with. I don't know how many false nines City have. Him and Kimpembe, they've got to be solid tonight. Make sure City don't get a lot of away goals.
Fair
Srini?
point. Fair point. Yeah, why not? Actually, I'll go for it. My surprise pick for tonight is Kyle Walker. And Kyle Walker is not only my surprise pick. Kyle Walker is not my main player, but I think Kyle Walker is going to be very important because if you notice, Kylian Mbappe, even though he plays as a striker, he doesn't play in the middle of the pitch, if that makes sense. So he veers out on the flanks. So he almost plays as an inside forward in that system. And that's how he's going to exploit you. And that's how he scored that Boateng goal as well. He was on that left space. And I think in that sense, Kyle Walker is going to be very important because Mbappe naturally is a left or a right winger. And apart from that, his pace is just unstoppable. And that's where Kyle Walker is unbeatable because he has the pace of like Roadrunner. He's almost like a cartoon character. Like his physicality is off the scale. Otherwise, a Zinchenko would start. So in that sense, his physicality being such a cheat code, I think he's going to be very important when Mbappe makes those runs. That's gonna make me sweat all night. Adi, what's your point?
Yeah, just quickly, Daksh is again with another comment. Thanks for the interaction. He says, Mahrez is the most important player for me, and I think I would second him with that. So I'll just come to you in a second. Excellent performance in the League Cup final, deservedly man of the match. His touch is just silk. It is filthy, absolute baller. I think he's definitely going to be the African player of the year. And yeah, I think he could be very key for City tonight. Ritvik, you want to add something quickly?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Just adding to that, I just feel that PSG have a weakness in their left back. There's no Bernat. And I think Mahrez is the perfect guy to exploit a weak and non-confident newcomer to come in the team. Because with his dribbles, he's going to be fantastic. That's what I think. Yeah, Shri.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that this is something that only City fans know. But one thing that I really want to see from this performance is Mahrez and KDB linking up on that right. I don't think we do that enough as a team. And whenever we do, that link up is very underrated. And especially when you consider someone like Parker, because he's not very experienced, that double down is going to be absolutely brutal because KDB and Mahrez, kind of similar to Bernardo and Mahrez, have a really good link up on that right side. So that's all I wanted to add. But yeah, Mahrez is going to be supreme tonight, for sure.
Okay. Guys in the comments, I want you to listen to this really carefully. I have a question for the people in the comments while we go to the next segment, okay? So we know PSG made it to the final last year. If they make it to the final this year, they'll be only the 9th team to make it to back-to-back Champions League finals. People in the comments, I want you guys to tell me, who are the other 8 teams, how many can you name out of them, who have made it to back-to-back Champions League finals? They don't have to have won it, but just made it back-to-back. Ritvik, you want to give them any tips? Go ahead.
Madrid doesn't count, so just except for Madrid.
Yeah, that's true. Madrid doesn't count.
Yeah.
Name the other 7. Okay. And we're going to go to our next segment. And we had the surprise key player. Now I want your key player, like the player to look out for tonight. Arnav. Okay, Arnav's just logged out. I was just about to go to
On
him.
again, man.
I will go to Srini. Who is the man to watch?
Okay, why not? I'm gonna go for Phil Foden actually, just because once again, in our strongest 11, Phil Foden is our best finisher by a country mile as well. Like that's one aspect that despite this team putting up all the points, winning all the trophies, the finishing is really, really box standard. And I think Phil Foden is going to be very important. You saw that he scored those 2 goals in the quarterfinals, and ironically enough, only after Mbappe. I think he's the only player before his 21st birthday to do that. So yeah, I think Phil Foden is going to be very important. And if he's lethal enough, I think Navas is going to be feeling very, very, very alone between the sticks because he gets those chances, doesn't he? So I think Phil Foden's the man. Ritvik? What do you think?
I mean, you said Phil Foden. I'm going to go for the other key player I think that City has. Of course, it has to be Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, he won us that leg. He made us reach the semi-finals back in 2016. He scored in both legs, home and away. And I think why do the best players play for the best teams? It's to win the biggest competition and the best competition, which is the Champions League. And De Bruyne is clearly very frustrated when it comes to our Champions League hopes. You saw what he said last season. He'll be hungry, want to lead from the front. He's gonna play false nine, and I think he will go all guns blazing, and he'll be the key player. Adi, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't want to take the name of any City player, so I'm going to go PSG. Obviously, between Neymar and Mbappe, you have to go for one of them. I think it's going to be Neymar. Bayern, he got man of the match. What a performance! He's had assist after assist, and he's done bits. I mean, the fact that he displays such a clearance against Bayern shows that he's not scared to face up to those big sides, which is something that in recent years for PSG he's been a bit maybe shy of. But I feel like the team he's got now, and especially under the manager he's with, he trusts his teammates enough to not just do everything himself, but include them in the way he is. Oh, my light's just gone off. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I think Neymar for me, 110% is the man to watch. And yeah, let me plug my light back in. Srini, you want to add something?
Yeah, I just want to say that, we have answers coming in from that trivia question that Adi asked. Of course, Duck saying Bayern, Liverpool, Milan, Juventus, Valencia, Madrid, and Ajax. Kabir in the comments saying Bayern, Liverpool, Juve, Man United, and Milan. Ishita Malik saying Ajax is one of them to Adibir's question. United as well added by Daksh. Daksh, do not copy answers. This is not an exam, but still. And Kabir, of course, with another comment, he says Valencia. Someone's clearly been on Wikipedia. That's facts, man. You do not know. You did not remember Valencia. Let's be honest. But
anyone who has guessed Valencia does not know that. I guarantee.
They took a good 6-7 minutes to go research and come back.
I'm really sorry, guys. Something.
Yeah, Ronaldo 123 rocks with the comment of the night. I will say it again, Arnav. New Wi-Fi lagwalo. That's true. I don't know if it's the fact that your team is in the Europa League or it's the Wi-Fi, but hey man, you've got to stay up.
Laptop actually. It's not the Wi-Fi. I've joined using my phone. That's just my commitment to MTAG TV. So I'm here on my phone.
Arnav, just before you logged off, we were asking the key players for either side. I went for Neymar, Srini went for Foden, and Ritvik went for Adibir. Arnav, who is it for you?
For City, right?
For either or.
No, you can go for PSG actually. Yeah, why not?
I think I've already picked Marquinhos for PSG, so I'm going to go City now. And for me, it's going to be Mahrez. I think Ritvik alluded to that PSG's left back Barker is kind of a weak link in their defense. So I think if he can try to isolate him, and Mahrez is one of those players. If he's on it, then he can literally take the game by the scruff of the neck. He can change the game by himself. And I hope he's not on it today, but I think he will be.
Fair enough. I am just looking at the comments. These guys have all Wikipedia. You guys are cheating, man. Next time you're gonna you're gonna give us the answers. No chance. But final segment. Should we do predictions now or later? What do you guys want to do?
I don't mind doing predictions, but I feel like talking a little more. It's a lot of fun doing this, man. I think we should do City lives like every single day of the week. It's so easy, isn't it?
Okay, Srini, take away. What is something that you want to talk about that is just eating you up right now?
Something that I want to talk about is the fact that we've made a semi-final under Pep for the first time, which is quite embarrassing. But the last time we played a semi-final, that was against Real Madrid in the 2015-16 season, if I remember correctly. And while we didn't get absolutely battered or anything like that, we didn't record a single shot on target in the two legs. And that was just absolutely poor, in my opinion. And whether we win, whether we lose, I want to see a lot of personality tonight, honestly, because that's what we seen that's what we saw in that Dortmund performance. People were talking about quadruple shots and things like that. We went down, we came back, we showed a lot of character, as Ritvik and Brendan Rodgers used to say. So I think that's what I want to see from that performance tonight. But Ritvik, is there anything that you want to talk about? Because we don't have a segment, we're winging it, let's be honest. So go for it.
Arnav, what do you want?
Yeah, I have a question for Ritvik, right? let's hope and assume that City go out to PSG.
God.
Then what do you make of City's season? Would you consider it to be a success given that they won the league and the League Cup, or the fact that they missed out on yet another UCL final, it steers it towards, let's say, a failure for you?
Before Ritvik goes, can I just quickly add that if City are settling for just the Premier League and the League Cup, I think that's a huge drop off because City have set the standard of winning 4 trophies in the season. They are the benchmark for almost any side in the world, bar maybe
4 trophies?
4 trophies. I mean, they count the Community Shield, the Formidable. That just shows you the.
Oh my
it
God!
counts.
Even
4
we don't
trophies,
count that.
domestic
Fair
treble.
Okay, the only thing to win the domestic treble, you can say that. With these, still, that's a big thing.
There's no such thing as a domestic treble.
There is.
Remember the only English side to win a treble. You guys
All I'm
are all
saying is,
talk.
you guys can say that. I mean, you guys used to make those absolutely terrible History Channel jokes at Liverpool fans. Now there you are doing the same thing. And Sir Alex Ferguson did say that a domestic treble will never be done in English football. Alex Ferguson, there you go. But there's a comment for me which is addressed at me, so I definitely have to take it. Dilshare, Dhupia, shout out to you for the comment, bro. And guys, subscribe right now. I mean, what are you doing if you're not subscribing? You have 4 young goats talking about the beautiful game. Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, you're learning from the best. But anyway, no, I'm not asking those legends. I don't want that smoke. But anyway,
Ritvik is
Dilshare,
Michael Owen.
Dhupia says, yeah, Michael Owen, all you guys. But Dilshare Dhupia says, Shri, hypothetical, City lose the semi-final. Where does Pep go from here, especially with respect to the summer transfer window? Well, I think regardless of whether we win the Champions League or not, we need to get a striker. I mean, I know that the points and the trophies sort of mask over that, but you'll see that in tonight's game as well, that every time there's cutbacks, every time there's one-on-one situations, we just do not have a clinical striker. And I would like a certain Norwegian to to come through the City doors next season. And apart from that, maybe an additional midfielder because Gundogan is having the season of his life, but then again, he is on the wrong side of 30, and you've seen what happens to players when that happens. Case in point, RVP. So there are certain positions where we can strengthen. We can get a backup left back as well. So yeah, man, there is always room for improvement. And talking about Pep has done super well this season. To lose a semi-final to PSG is not embarrassing. They have the 2 most devastating attackers on the planet. So yeah, man, no worries. And I know Adi wants us to lose so badly. I can see that grin on his face. But do not
Same.
get that energy on the stream. But Arnav, anyway, if you want to add something. And then we go to Ritvik.
Before he goes there,
Okay.
I just want to add that let's turn the clocks back to December. Where was City in December? We were 7th or 8th
Yep.
on New Year's. And look where we are now. The way we won the league, it's not the easiest job.
Not
Yes,
easy.
we
Yeah.
slacked off. Yes, we slacked off. But I wouldn't consider this to be a disappointment after our start to the season at all.
Yeah, and just adding to that, you can talk about slacking off, but it was very tough because we didn't have a preseason, and Pep also lost his mother, which is something that people don't talk about. Personal issues do affect your performance on the pitch. So yeah, man, it's been a massive remontada, and big up City every time. I'm gonna spread the propaganda on this live. But Arnav, you want to add something?
Yeah, we just addressed Pep's position from City's point of view. I have a question for you, Adi. Let's turn it around. Let's assume PSG go out of the UCL, and they're stuck in a tight title race in their league. Let's say they don't win the league, which they are so used to, and it's going to be a decline because they made it to the UCL finals last year. So let's say Poch yet again bottles the league and the UCL. So where does he go for you?
I mean, can he really go anywhere? He came in mid-season to a PSG team that wasn't really performing. He said it in the press as well when he joined that give me my time. These are not his players. Keep that in mind. This is not his squad. He hasn't had any windows proper where he can get in at least 5-6 players to shape and mold that side. So if PSG, knowing how they are, if they go and sack him on the back of maybe not winning the league and getting to the Champions League final, it's a shambles, and I wouldn't expect anything better from a club that is just fueled by this ridiculous amount of money. But I don't think he's going to go anywhere. He's one of those coaches that is for the future. He can build a system. We saw it at Spurs. He did an excellent job. Took Spurs to a Champions League final, for God's sake. So don't take any credit away from him. And yeah, quickly, I just want to take Kabir Ali's comment over here. If you want to highlight it, Srini, he says, "Stat of the day: Man City and PSG combined the same Champions League final appearances as Dua Lipa."
That's going to change, man. Unfortunately,
Man City weren't in the Champions League final with PSG. So these guys, I hope to God, they're not going anywhere near that trophy. Just
You want to stat, Adi? You want to stat? Phil Foden has more trophies than Steven Gerrard. Okay, he's
Yeah,
20 years.
let's go. Let's
you.
go. Let's go. Guys, real quick, I want to highlight the comment of the night, the comment of 2021 for me. Ronaldo123 Rock says, like, subscribe,
had
and
to be
comment.
him.
Hit the bell icon. Stay safe, mask up, and socially distance. Of course, get vaccinated if you can. Yes, get on the website, get on the COVID website, by the way. And yeah, big up Ronaldo123 Rocks, you absolute legend. Everyone should make these kinds of comments as well because they help a lot. So yeah, therefore, big up, big up. But guys, let's take a quick comment and then I think we should make our predictions. I want to watch the game. I don't want to do this anymore, I'll be honest. I'm kidding. But Shashwat Satpathy says, who will be the super sub for both teams? So Arnav, I'll go to you for this. Who's your pick?
PSG, I think it could be Icardi. Probably unpopular, but he's going to give them like somewhat of a proper center forward, and you can then have Mbappe move to the wings with him. And for City, I don't think Aguero is going to be given a chance, even though I think he could have an impact if he comes on. So I'm going to go for Jesus. I don't like him too much, but he does get goals. To be fair, with the amount of chances City create, I think the four of us will also get goals for them. But yeah.
Fair enough. Fair shout. And I love the fact that Arnav just said I don't like him a lot. But anyway, Adi, who are your picks?
I have for PSG, I'm going to go for Moise Kean, actually. He's put in a decent amount of shifts in Champions League, especially. Get the woe. You've seen Srini do it. Hardy, I don't think he's actually going to come on tonight. They probably put on Kean instead of him, which is a bit surprising. City, on the other hand, I mean, is there really anyone from the bench I would, put all that kind of pressure into their hands? Maybe Ferran Torres could be a real difference maker, not Jesus, surprisingly. He brings in that pace, he can run behind. He's not had the best of seasons, obviously, first season here and all, but I think Torres could do the difference. Ritvik, I want to come to you.
So Torres has had a fantastic first season. What do you think? He scored so many goals. He scored more than 10 goals. He scored more goals than Mane. Okay.
Fantastic season by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, if you're saying,
let's come back.
Have you even seen him play? How can he have a fantastic season? I don't even remember seeing him play.
He played every Champions League game up until the Dortmund game.
Anyway.
Okay, coming back.
Let's not, guys. You
For
go for it.
For PSG, I really think, I don't know why you guys didn't pick him. I think Draxler is going to be the super sub. Because when Draxler comes on, Neymar moves into that cam position, where I think he's fantastic. And I think he's better than in the cam position as compared to the left wing. So I think Draxler is going to just give them some more, attacking threat if they're down for PSG. And for City, as much as I want Aguero to be the man, I don't think Pep will trust him with that. I want Pep to trust him, but I think Sterling is going to be the man to come in and make those runs in behind and just create some threat over there. See, what do you think?
Same. I mean, I'm saying the same things. Raheem Sterling. Guys, if you can remember the Real Madrid tie in the first leg, if I can remember correctly, Sterling came off the bench and changed the game. Danny Carvajal conceded that penalty. Kevin De Bruyne scored it. So I think his pace is something that is just out of this world, and his dribbling as well. And you saw what he did to Serge Aurier as well. So I think Raheem Sterling is going to be very important, especially as I mentioned before, his off-the-ball movement is key. And when he comes on, when there's 30-20 minutes left, when the defenders are tired, you do not want to face Raheem Sterling. Raheem the Dream is my pick. But for PSG, I've got to go for Moise Kean once again. I think Mauro Icardi is absolutely washed up, let's be honest. Moise Kean, I think, is absolutely brilliant. I actually think he's very unlucky not to start in this team. Very versatile, can play on that right, can play up front. And yeah, man, I think he is a very, very good striker, very underrated as well. So Moise Kean is my pick for PSG and Raheem Sterling is my pick for City. Adi, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I just want to take a couple of last few comments before we get our final predictions in. Daksh again saying, by the way, Adi, please be united next week so that we can lift the
Yes.
trophy.
Not happening.
No. I will take the L and make sure you guys delay it as long as possible. Smash us 6-0.
And
I don't care.
lose out on UCL. Lose out on UCL.
Again, UCL is done. We're not getting it. I'm going to say right now. There's no chance of getting UCL. But anyway, quick predictions, guys, before we head into the probably the game of the season. Ritvik, I want you to go first. Score and scorers.
2-1 City. Scorers are Foden, De Bruyne, and Neymar.
Arnav.
I think this game is only going to be decided in the second leg. So I'm going to go for a draw today. 1-1 Mbappe on the score sheet for PSG. And I don't want to pick Foden or De Bruyne. So I'm going to go Mahrez. Srini, you?
I'm stuck between 1-1 and 2-1 City, but I'll go for 2-1 City. Why not? I should back my boys. So for City, I'm going to go for Foden and Mahrez. And for PSG, I'll go for a Marquinhos header because they're very good from set pieces. Adi?
Okay, I think I'm going to go 2-1 City as well, man. Mahrez and probably De Bruyne and Mbappe definitely for PSG. Those are the predictions, guys. Let us know in the comments if you want to add something quickly. But, Arnav, you want to add a quick point?
Yeah, just one last question to the City boys before we wrap up. Maybe
Sure.
Srini, you can take that before Ritvik does. If you get a penalty tonight, you guys are never settled on the penalty taker. Thank God for Bruno. Who takes the penalty for you? Is it De Bruyne or is it Mahrez?
Mahrez all day. I think his confidence is sky high after that, and the fact that he had that whole Anfield hoodoo because he missed that penalty against them in the 90th minute. He's sort of put that behind him, so it has to be Riyad Mahrez. I don't think you switch when someone scores a pen. So Mahrez for me. Ritvik, what about you?
I think I agree with the fact that you don't switch after someone scores a pen. I would want De Bruyne to take it because I personally trust him more. But if
Same.
Mahrez is form, I think Mahrez should be the one to take it.
I think Daksh is right. I think Edison should take
give
the
it to
penalty.
Edison.
Come on, I've said this
He'll
before.
break the net, man. He will destroy that net. So that
I'm generally waiting for the day when Pep generally gives Edison a penalty. It is going to football Twitter is going to go bonkers. But anyway, guys,
I hope I have him in my FPL team when that happens.
Fair. Anyway, guys, I think that's a good enough note to sign off on. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Srini, I won't let you finally get us signed off, but hit the subscribe button. Let us know if you like this. Leave a like. And Srini, take it away, man.
guys, I'm going to wait for a second. Have you guys subscribed? You haven't? You need to subscribe right now. You need to like the video, man. You need to follow us on IG, Twitter. I know Facebook is dead. It's for old people, let's be honest, but follow us there anyway. LinkedIn as well, why not? Follow us on Snapchat, shadi.com. Do all of that because that's all you need to know. We're four young goats, with the brown versions of Kara and Neville and Michael Owen as well, why not? So guys, just do that, man. And we hope that it's a classic Champions League fixture. And if it's a snooze fest, I hope City win 1-0. But yeah, that's about it. And see you for next time.